Well, hello. It's so good to be with all of you. I am super excited to be back here in my home studio and walk all of you through what is going on with our orphanage and our ministry in Guatemala. It means the absolute world. And I really want to get straight into it because God, let me just tell you, is doing amazing things. I want to tell you, in the very beginning of my Bible, I write down here, if you could see, just a list that I pray over every single morning. I mean, I'm talking about my relationship with Jesus, my wife, my children. But on the bottom, I wrote down divine connections, and I've been praying over that for our ministry. And so, every single one of you that have been following us online, maybe you know me personally, or maybe you're one of our church partners. I'm telling you, God is doing an amazing thing in Guatemala. We are literally trying to build a village, which I want to put this here, this village where we want to build these tiny homes all through this area where we can bring people into our children into our area. And so we want to build this beautiful piece of property where we put little tiny homes where children that we just rescued a child today. And the hope is that we one day will be able to put them into these tiny homes where there's literally only anywhere from 5 to 10 children each home, which is a lot healthier than the current setup that we have. And so we are grateful. And I want to show you some of this land. I'll put it right here. This is a piece of the property that we are buying. It's, if you could see, it's on a hill. And so we are right now in the midst of negotiations and purchasing this land. The total land price is $220,000. And so we are needing around $60,000 to put down, and then we could pay the rest off within over a year and a half or so. And so, such a beautiful piece of property that we are excited about. I'll show you another piece of property here where you can see that it's on this hill where we're going to be able to build these homes all across this hill, and it's going to be amazing. And so we are praying for finances. I want you to pray for finances so that way we can go ahead and start developing this land. We need to purchase the land. And so, like I said, it's going to be around $60,000 to buy the actual land itself, to put down a down payment on that land. And then it's going to be about $220,000 total for that piece of land there. So we are praying that finances come in. I want you to be praying that finances come in for this piece of property, 220,000. Let me tell you, we've been looking at other pieces of property, and property is expensive in Guatemala. And we've been looking at some that's up to $500,000, $600,000. And so the fact that this piece of property right here is literally only $220,000, that is more than half price basically for this piece of property. And so we're going to build on this hill, which we are super excited about on that. And many of you don't know this, but when I first went to Guatemala years and years ago, I went to Guatemala, and there's this area in Guatemala City called Cayala. It's this beautiful piece of property where it's a village right there by the U.S. Embassy in Guatemala. And this area called Cayala has been my favorite area. I take my children there. It's very safe. We take a lot of teams there sometimes. Well, I've been praying for divine connections. And would you know that not even a month ago, a good friend of mine named Harrison introduced me to this guy named Victor. And Victor is literally one of the founders of Cayala. And he actually flew to our village where we have our orphanage to go and look at this new piece of property because I've been inspired. I mean, my house that I built in Guatemala looks like a Cayala house, and the villages that we're wanting to build with these white tiny homes is based off of Cayala. And would you know that literally a month later or a month ago, I was able to meet a guy named Victor, who is literally one of the founders. And I brought him to this piece of property to get his thoughts. And I want you to see a video of him there in our village. Let me show you this. Y'all aren't going to believe this story. You got to come over here too, bro. Look at him. Look at him. Look at Harrison, okay? 2013, over 10 years ago, I came to Guatemala for the first time, and I went to this beautiful place called Cayala. Many of you have been to Cayala. My friend Victor here is one of the main guys. What do you do? Tell him your position.
Yeah, I'm like the program manager. I do the strategy and the regional expansion of Kaila in other countries. Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that?
I would say that's a very humble way of saying that he is one of the most instrumental pieces in developing Kaila, and he's been so generous with his time that this project here is going to look a lot like Kaila.
I designed my personal house here in Guatemala just like Kaila, and we want to build our orphanage based off of Kaila. We already wanted to do this a year ago. Then we randomly meet him, get divinely connected, and here he is in our village that I can't say publicly, but we're here in our village. And one of the main guys from Kaila is here helping us design. That's amazing, y'all. See ya. And so it's just amazing to see the divine connections happening. And so what we want to do, again, is we want on the side of this village, the side of this mountain, to build this beautiful village where we have these little homes all through up the side of this mountain, and where we're able to rescue children, even more children. Here's the cool thing, that if we build just 10 of these homes that we think is going to be probably around $40,000 each one of these homes will hold 10 kids, which means with this piece of property for $220,000 that we're trying to buy right now, and we build these little white tiny homes, we'll be able to rescue at least 100 more kids, which is amazing. And so I want you to be in prayer for divine connections. I want you to be in prayer that God will genuinely introduce us to people who will fund this. We are completely living by faith, and that's where we are. And so that's the reason also why I want to encourage so many of you that are asking how you can get involved. I want to encourage you to donate monthly. I appreciate so many people that are donating one time. That's amazing. That helps us more than you'll ever know. But you committing anywhere from $10 a month, which, by the way, we have a legacy wall where we paint your name on the wall in Guatemala that our team and our children get to pray over every single day. But when you donate, you go on the legacy wall, but also you are helping us be able to rescue more children. We rescued a child literally last night. And because we have money that's being promised to come in every single month, and our system tells us how much money comes in, we know that we're able to take more children because of that. And that genuinely means the world. So every single dollar that you give goes 100% to the work that we're doing in Guatemala. And I want to encourage you with that. Another ministry that we have is where we go out throughout the mountains and we find vulnerable families. And we found a vulnerable family that I want to show you their home here in a second. But this is another part of our ministry. See, a lot of people just think that we have an orphanage, which is, yes, the main thing that we do. But another thing that we do as well is we go into these vulnerable areas and we find families that need help. And I want to show you one of these families, because what we're able to do with the monthly support that you give as well is, for instance, we were to be able to show up. We were able to bring them a month's worth of food, which is incredible in itself. But they needed beds. And you're going to see why here in a minute. They needed beds. And we were able to immediately purchase them beds and put them into their home. And it's because of people like you donating every single month that allows us to be able to do this, things like this. We have widows that we take care of. We have vulnerable families that we take care of. And this is the reason why every single one of you who donate, I just want to say thank you, because we're able to help families like this. Check this out. So what we do is we try to find homes like this, families that are way up in the mountains, and you can see the condition of this house. And what we do is we try to support these families. We try to figure out ways that we can help. If you see, here's one of the rooms. You can see the child sleeping on the floor. And so what our ministry does is we come in here with our team and we try to support them in any way that we can, as far as simple things like providing beds for them and just really figuring out what we need to do overall to be able to help. Let me take you into here. So the orphanage is not just what we do. We actually come in here and try to figure out what we can do to support. There's a bed right there you can see. And the conditions are wild. They don't even have a floor. And so this is why we're thankful for so many of you that are a part of our ministry.
Yes. We would be in the jungle, and then we'd go like.
Because we're able to come in and support families like this that need help. And so again, that is part of our ministry, right? Is coming into Guatemala. Listen, I'm going to tell you, nobody is going up into these mountains actively searching for families to help. And that is the reason why our ministry is so special. Did you know that I heard a stat that said 90% of ministries that are in Guatemala are usually around an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away from the city or closer to the city. So there's not a lot of ministries out beyond that. And so we actually fly planes way up into the mountains. If you follow our social media, you'll see this. We fly planes way up into the mountains of Guatemala. And this is where our orphanage is, but we also go way up into the mountains where we drive hours up, we hike hours up, and we find these vulnerable families that literally their children are sleeping on floors. And this is what we're able to do, is find these families and help them. And you, when you donate every single month to our orphanage, when you donate every single month to our ministry, this is literally what we're able to do, is go up into these mountains and actually support these families that are in need. And so the goal here, right, is to prevent these children from even arriving into the orphanage. So we find these families where their children are sleeping on the floor. And instead of this mom giving up on her children and saying, I can't do this anymore, and literally abandoning them in a park, which happens all the time, we want to prevent this from happening by going up and finding these families before it even gets to that scenario. And so when you donate every single month, as little as $10 a month, we are able to know how much money is coming into our account, and we're able to go and ensure that we can go in and take care of these families, which is an incredible thing. And so I want to encourage you. We want you to come to Guatemala. If you're a business owner, maybe you're a pastor of a church, we want to encourage you to come to Guatemala. We do 24-hour trips at times where we know that you're busy. We know that people are busy. So we will fly into Guatemala with you for a 24-hour trip. We'll fly into our village. We'll show you around, and we can leave the next day. They're simple trips just so that way you can see the vision. And so we want you to be able to come to Guatemala and do that, because that is the most important thing, that we know that when you get to Guatemala, you will see the impact that is being done there. And so I want to encourage you to do that. Many of you also are so connected to so many different people. You have friends, you have family, you have business owners, you have peer-to-peers, right? There's people that you know that want to get involved in leaving a legacy. And this is where I'm boldly coming to you and saying, help us connect to people that want to make a legacy, that want to leave a legacy. And so we are asking people like you to hold donor dinners, for instance, where you can help us connect with other business owner friends that you have. We can host a dinner and we can share what God is doing in the mountains of Guatemala by you simply hosting a donor dinner. So we want to encourage you, if you're willing to do that. I have a family that's doing that in Miami. They want me to fly to Miami. They're going to put me in front of 10 other families that want to get involved with leaving a legacy. And this is what we want help doing. My wife and I are praying because we are heading even more into full-time ministry. And so we need your support. What we always say is, you get behind us, my wife and I, so that way we can continue to grow and grow the orphanage. When you support us, our personal ministry, Kyle Ewald Ministries, when you support us, what you're really doing as well is, for those of you, and I'm not asking this for everybody, I'm just simply saying those that know me and trust me and know the integrity that I have, and you want to come behind us personally as missionaries, we are asking for you to humbly come to our ministry, Kyle Ewald Ministries, and support that, so that way my wife and I can be fully supported, so we can continue to go and do the work. So you get behind us as we get behind the orphanage. Listen, I need to be in more churches. I need to be in front of more business owners. I need to be doing networking events and hosting these donor dinners, right? And I cannot do this if I'm fully focused on trying to make money elsewhere. And so what we are asking is for people to get behind us and support us, so that way we can fully go in and do the ministry. And so I want to humbly ask you that. This is what we're wanting to build: a village of homes where, instead of children that are getting rescued from severe scenarios, we're able to take them into our home. And instead of it being one large home, we have this mountain of homes where there's tiny homes all the way up through these mountains, where it holds anywhere from 5 to 10 kids each, with a widow that is the house mom, and where we're able to fully bring these children into a home, neighborhood, village environment. We want to put speakers all throughout the trees so that way there's calm worship music playing all the time, where these children have food and they have people that are properly taking care of them. It's amazing because when we rescue children, we just rescued a child literally last night. And the breath of fresh air that I have every single time that we rescue these children is knowing the history of what we're already doing. When we have children that they have family that want to take them away or take them back into their families, all the children, they don't want to leave our orphanage. When we know that it's the best interest for them to go back into a family member's home that is willing to take care of them, they need to be in a home structure. But what's amazing is these children do not want to leave because of the peace that they experience in our orphanage. And so when you walk into our orphanage, many of you who have come to our orphanage, you know that there's worship music consistently playing, that the parents, the house moms and parents that are there genuinely love and care for the children. And this is the reason why they want to leave. And so the children that we rescue, the child that we rescued last night, we know that he's coming to our home and he's going to love it. And this is the reason why we want to go in and build this village. We literally want to build a village, and we want you to be a part of it. And so I want to humbly and vulnerably come to you and say, listen, if you're not supporting our orphanage every single month, I want to encourage you to do so. Every single person watching this can most likely, and I don't know every story, but most likely you can donate anywhere close to $10 a month, at least $10 a month. But there's many of you that can do more. And every single dollar that's donated to our ministry allows us to be able to rescue more children and to build more buildings and to be able to buy, for instance, property, so that way we can build more homes. And that's what we need your support. Every single person that's going in and donating one-time gifts, we appreciate that. And that has helped us more than you will ever know. We are able to literally save up money in our bank account so that way we can go and attempt to buy land like this, right? But when you give monthly, it's even more powerful because we know how much is coming in monthly and we know how to budget. And so 2 things that I want to ask is for you to donate to our orphanage every single month. That would mean the absolute world to us. We also would love to encourage you to donate to our personal ministry, Kyle Ewald Ministries. That allows you to personally get behind my wife and I and my family and free us up to where we're going to be able to go and do the ministry full time, knowing that we have people like you backing us up so that way we can go and meet more people to tie them in to our orphanage. And so we love you. We're grateful for you. And we know that God is doing an amazing thing. And we just want to humbly come to you and say thank you for every single one of you coming behind our orphanage. Go to fightfortheorphan.com. That's where you can support the orphanage and all the work that we're doing. You can also go to kyleewald.com if you want to directly support my wife and I as the missionaries that are going in and making the change. It would mean the world to us. Humbly, we love you. We're grateful for you, and we'll see you soon. See ya.